37 degrees, 51 if you're in the United States, okay? Fair enough. Now, I tell you what, let me do this. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today, believe me, absolutely elated, really are, because we're catching up with a young man by the name of Jimi Fiano. And believe me, you're gonna absolutely love it. But first of all, let me welcome everybody on board, and everybody is watching on Facebook Live this morning. So very happy to have you. Why not do this? Become part of the family. We call it the noise here at Galaxy, simply because you do have a voice, and believe me, we get all your messages, we get all your platform, every media that you can think of, and we listen, we respond. That's pretty much how we structure our shows, including the breakfast show, which, believe me, you tell me a lot about Jimi Fiano and how much you enjoy his music. You really do. So today is the day. In the meantime, if you want to join, well, I tell you what, why not do this? Why not sub, thumb, bell? Bingo. Bell notifications when we have important people, much like Jimi Fiano, and subscribe. Yeah, become part of the family. We call it the noise. You know that, right? Why not subscribe? In the meantime, you know what to do with that, right? Yeah, get epileptic with it. Like us a lot. Tell you what, we're going to kick it off. Here is Jimi Fiano joining us live too, by the way, as the years go passing by here at Galaxy. So how you feeling, Jimmy? You okay?
Yeah, everything's good.
Nice.
Is it? You say it's raining over there?
It's raining. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's raining. Yeah, it really is. You know, Jimmy, last winter we had 90 days of rain and 90 nights of rain consecutively, non-stop. Now, I don't know if you're religious or not, but somewhere in the Bible it says it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and some dude built a boat. Yeah, 90 days of rain, no boat. Didn't see a boat.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is. Marion Peterson is joining us. Nice to have you on board. Ben Bears Pocock. That's an interesting name. I've never met you before, sir. Welcome. And that mysterious two others. Are you related to that mysterious 13 others? Okay. And I think the boss is joining us as well. I think she's in there as well. So I better be good. Jimmy, I like to throw in a little bit of humour every now and again and get a few reactions. And seeing it's an 8-minute 26 track on as the years go passing by, gives me a perfect time to ask you, as we go through this, I'm going to ask you for things like your website, how people can contact you, how people can download all your music, stuff like that. I think it's relevant, I really do, and people need to know how to be able to contact you. Also, if they reach out to you, would you respond?
Yes, I appreciate that, yeah.
So, believe me, I'll get those questions in there. At the same time, as I say, I like to throw in a bit of humour and, you know, just to relax people and, you know. Are you a guy that likes to think out of the box?
Absolutely. My whole CD and the way I play guitar is pretty much outside of what you would call the blues box.
Right.
Because the blues box, I'm very far away from traditional blues. Although I admire it and I love it, I played many styles of music growing up, be it R&B, hardcore funk, heavy metal, and everything, jazz, everything in between. So, when I play, it's like a mixture of all those styles put together. So, and it's funny because on and off, I went and done blues after I've done different types of bands. Like, I've been in bands where I played metal, and then after I've done metal or whatever, then I've come back, and every time I go back and revisit the blues, I bring a little more of what I've learned, while I was out doing my other things. When I come back to the blues, a little of that seeps into my versions of the blues.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I definitely think outside of the box. And this record is blues rock, and it's not traditional by any means. So yes.
Now, the title of this one is Sweat and Pray, is that right?
Yes.
Good. I want to cover that because that's your second to the last track before Hey Joe, if you know what I mean, and it is relevant that we get that one in. But you've worked with bands like Frog Hat and Bad Company. Jesus, I've been following Bad Company since I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was it like working with Bad Company?
Well, it was awesome. It was awesome. You as me, I wasn't the original guitar player in Bad Company because they're even a little bit older than me. But me also as a kid, I grew up listening, to the very first record, Bad Company, that record,
Yep.
and many other, and really, probably even, it's funny because even before that, I was listening to Foghat.
Yep.
And Foghat and Johnny Winter back in the early days were huge influences of me, and I went and saw them many times. And first I was offered the chance to play in a version of Foghat, so I went and did some Foghat gigs, and I really loved that. Foghat is kind of what I do now. It's basically blues rock, because they're an extension of Savoy Brown, basically.
That's right.
Yep. So I played with Tony Stevens, the bass player from Foghat. We did some gigs, and we had a tremendous time. And through that, I got a call to audition and do the Bad Company gigs. So, and all through this, I played in cover bands and original bands, but I've made a lot, most of my money that paid the bills was made through playing other people's music and, playing throughout the United States. I lived in California for a while. I lived in Denver and in Colorado, and I'm down here in South Florida. And most of the, money that I made was playing other people's music. So, but as a kid, I grew up playing and putting on my little GE Wildcat, my little record player, putting on Foghat stuff and learning it note for note, and putting on the Bad Company stuff, learning it note for note. So when I got a call for both of those bands, it was fairly easy for me because I was so familiar with the material.
Sure.
So to get up on stage and play with the guys that I listened to was just the first gigs that I did with them. I was like, I can't even believe I'm doing this. So you know what I mean? And so then I did the Bad Company gigs for a while. I did them. Then for a while I took a little break from them. Then I was asked back 7 years later, and it was with the singer who sang with them from 85 to 95, a lead singer named Brian Howe, who did, No Smoke Without Fire, If You Needed Somebody, Holy Water. He did a more modernized version of Bad Company, actually. The production was more, I don't know, I want to say more like Def Leppard, actually. It got bigger, you know what I mean? And he just passed away a couple years ago, unfortunately. And he lived down here in South Florida. A lot of rock stars, like older rock stars, live down here. Well, everybody moves down to South Florida because the weather is good, even though it's rainy as hell here too. But we have a hurricane season over here, and we're about to start it. So we'll see where we get with this thing. But it was super awesome playing with those guys. And another thing that happened with me is I did a soundtrack. If you look it up, it's called Rocking the Wall, and it's about how music helped break down the Berlin Wall in Germany. And it's a documentary, a rockumentary, if you will. And there was Mother's Finest. I don't know if you remember that band. Yep. They're fantastic. They did the soundtrack, and Mark Stein from Vanilla Fudge was contracted to do the music for it as well.
Here we go. Jimmy, I'm going to have to break in. I'm going to have to break in here. We've got a couple of seconds to go, then we're going live. So let's sit back and have some fun. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're talking to Jimi Fiano coming out of Florida, and it's absolutely a pleasure to have him joining us. Welcome to Galaxy, Jimi.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's an absolute honour to meet you, sir. It really, really is. Now, believe me, I've been running down through your list, and just prior to going live, we were talking about Frog Hat, and of course, talking about Bad Company. But you've been with Night Ranger as well, and something I found rather interesting, way different kind of feel, you were with Cameo.
Yeah.
Totally different kind of music altogether.
And that was before all the other stuff, because I back when I first started playing, I was very into Johnny Winter and Deep Purple and all that kind of stuff. And I was playing around town, making some money, playing stuff like that. And I had friends of mine that were playing dance stuff and disco stuff. And they were actually making double the money that I was making. And all my friends that played rock said, disco sucks, this is the worst stuff ever. And I said, maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, I don't know. And then I thought about it, and I said, well, listen, I didn't write any of this music that I'm playing anyway. I mean, here I am playing all this rock. I'm playing other people's music, and I'm getting paid for it. What if I was to play disco and funk and make twice as much money, since I didn't write any of that stuff either? So what I did is I went in and I delved into disco and funk and found out it was really hard to play. It was much harder than I had ever imagined because of the strum and the syncopation. It was a whole other ballgame. And for any guys out there that play metal, I love metal, but if you ever get a chance, go back and listen to and try to play Barry White, believe it or not, Cameo, James Brown, Average White Band, Tower of Power. And if you go back and you figure that stuff out and you still say it sucked, then I'll respect you. But it doesn't suck by any means. So what happened is, because of my funk vocabulary, Cameo was located down here for a while. So Larry Blackman of Cameo actually managed me personally for 6 months, and I did some stuff with them and actually did some recording sessions through them with another one of their artists, a guy at the time whose name was Colonel Abrams, full-on funk stuff. So I like that. I like that the fact that I can do all that, and that I play slide, and all that stuff together. To me, it's like musical Halloween. It's like, who am I going to be today? What hat am I putting on? Am I a metal guy? Am I a country guy? Am I a funk guy? I love it all, and I try to play it to the best of my ability when I go into a session.
Jimmy, I can relate to that. I really, really can. One of the funniest questions I ever get asked, I've got to be honest with you, is, what's your favourite kind of music? Well, I've been in this game now almost 40-something years, and I can't say I do have a favourite. I like it all. And if you didn't have an open mind, you're not suited for this job, really, you're not. Got to give a big shout out to Terry Van Cannon joining us. Hello, brother man. Slide Steel Master coming out of North Carolina. Nice to have you there. Charisse D'Souza, Galaxy Female Artist of the Year 23-24, coming out of India, Mumbai, India as well. Nice to have you on board, darling. Going to be seeing you very shortly this year. Really, really are. Going to be nice to catch up again. And, well, what else have we got here? Dale Hammond from the Hammond Brothers. Hello, Dale. Nice to have you on board. Of course, the famous Hammond Brothers, Dale and Gail Hammond. Don Allen is watching. Peter Hoffman is on board as well. Alan Fallon is joining us, as well as Nut Enough, and Sonny Morgan. Sonny, absolutely loving your new work. I really, really am, especially with Melody Uganda included. Stroke of brilliance, really is. Today we're talking to Jimi Fiano, and I've been a big fan since I've started listening to Jimmy over the last number of weeks, I've got to be honest. And Jimmy, I've got to ask you, for the fans, how does one get hold of you? Can you give us your website? Can you give us your links where we can download music? But more importantly, if an artist does manage, or a fan manages to get hold of you, would you respond?
Yes, oh, absolutely I would. I'm loving the fact that my music is getting worldwide airplay. That is astounding and amazing, and it's like a dream of mine. So yes, I'm on Instagram as Jimi Fiano. Basically, it's a piano but with an F, and Jimi like Hendrix. And I'm on Facebook, and I also have a website with merch and downloads, which is Jimifiano, JimiFiano.com. You can go visit that, and I don't know if at any point anybody can anybody see me out there right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, believe me, people are watching you around the world right now.
This is the CD. I don't know if it's all reflective and stuff. Let's see. I don't know if you can see this.
Yep, just up a little bit. Just up a little bit. There you go. Sweat and Pray.
Okay.
Love
This
that.
is Sweat and Pray. This is available as a hard CD. Well, it's going to be kind of tough. I've never shipped out of the continental 48 United States, but that is the reason why I am available on Spotify and Amazon and iTunes and all that as well. But if you were to go to my website and you lived around there, you might be interested in something like this.
Oh, fantastic. You know, Jimmy.
Which I'm going to tell you guys.
Yeah, believe me, Jimmy, I'm going to ask you for one of those. And let me explain this, Jimmy. When I do wear these shirts, and today I'm wearing a very, very past legend of the game. Of course, we miss D.B. Bryant. We really, really do, and respect him very, very much. Passed away a couple of years ago now. But people tend to go and check on the interwebby thing while I'm doing these interviews. And believe me, people have actually told me, while I'm there watching you, I've gone and bought not only some T-shirts and cups and picks, even one person bought a handmade guitar while they were watching one of the interviews. So it does generate interest as we do it. So if you would be gracious enough, maybe even throw in some of your CDs. We could do a Jimi Fiano giveaway. What do you reckon?
I will do that. I'll throw in a few CDs, and I'll get you guys a couple of shirts and a couple sizes. We'll talk about that offline, what sizes you want, and I'll get them off to you as well. That would be great.
Absolutely brilliant. I'll get Barbara onto that, and she can give you all the details there. Believe me, she's good at that. She really is. Now, at the same time, and we've been having a little natter right now, but as the years go passing by, we opened up with this. So I think it would be remiss of me if I didn't say, Jimmy, tell me a little bit about this.
Okay, well, like I said, I do like traditional blues, even though I don't really play it exactly like a traditional blues player. I have my own version, and I started doing as the years go passing by on my shows, and I started getting requests for it, and that. What happened on that particular cut that you heard, that version that you heard, is 100% completely live, mixed live. And what happened is I was on a gig playing down on the beach, and we talked about rain. It was a rainy day. Normally, maybe 500 people would come to a show like that, right? Well, with the rain, it dwindled down to about 40 people. So I was playing, and normally we do a 2-hour show. So I had already done my quota of ballads. I did Ain't No Sunshine and blah, blah, blah. So, usually you mix them in about every 4 or 5 songs, you put in a ballad. So I had done my quota, and then a very good friend of mine who loves that song, he came, despite the rain. His name is Jack Shaw. He came, and I said, oh man, Jack is here. And I know he's going to want to hear As the Years Go Passing By, which my version that I really like is the Albert King version. That is the version that I kind of grew up on that I really love. So anyway, my friend is in the audience, and I said, you know what? I did do my quota of ballads, but you know what? There's only 40 people here, and I don't care. Screw this. Let's do As the Years Go Passing By. So we did it, and the guy where we do it there, they have a house sound system and a great sound man, Tim, and he actually used to work for Paisley Studios for Prince. So he's a fantastic live sound man and a fantastic recording engineer. So he always records the show live, 2 tracks, and he mixes the effects live right there. So he did it, and usually we have a show at the end of the night, and I always tell him I'm always very insecure about those kind of shows. And I said, Jim, erase that show. I never want to hear that shit again, please. So he says, you say that every time. I'm going to send you this thing. And I said, I really wish you wouldn't. So the next day, he sends me that version of As the Years Go Passing By, and I put it on in my car while I'm just running around doing errands, and I go, wait a minute, this sounds pretty good. So it's not even the same guys that are on the record. It's my live band, John O'Brien on bass and Guido Marciano on drums, and it's just the 3 of us doing that. And I said, this is so good, I'm going to just add it on as a cut onto this record, and that's what happened.
Well, I got to be honest with you, my friend. 1,154 requests for it since we've been playing it, and it's climbing every day. We get more and more requests for it, so believe me, you're doing very, very well there. Strangled by the Hands of Time. Now, believe me, this one's moving up a little bit. You're up around about 12,500 requests so far. So I think maybe, just maybe, 1,200. 1257. Okay, fair enough. I think you better let me know all about this track, because believe me, this one is fascinating to me.
Okay, yeah. Well, here's what happened with that. First of all the background vocals, all the female vocals, I should definitely mention this. All the background vocals are by a lady named Shawn Murphy. Shawn Murphy she played Live Aid with Eric Clapton. She was the lead singer in Little Feat after Lowell George passed away for 7 years. She has toured the last 30 years plus with Bob Seger. So, and the first record she ever did was a duet with Meatloaf. So, needless to say, this lady is legendary in the blues scene. And her manager, T.C. Davis of Lonesome Road Management, he's a very good friend of mine, and he manages Shawn, and we've been talking about doing stuff for the longest time. So Shawn has a bunch of great records out, and she has this one record out called Loretta, and she asked me to play on it, and I said, I would love to play on your record. So I played on 3 cuts on her record called Loretta, and she said, well, now, because you played on my record, if you ever need vocals, I'll play on yours. And I said, I'm going to hold you to that. So she said, I'm in. So I was doing the record, and I said, listen, I have a week free, and they live in Nashville. So I said, I have a week free. Would you have any time to do some of the background vocals? She said, why don't you cut all the vocals up here and stay with TC and I in Nashville, and we'll go to a studio up here that I know, and we'll do the vocals up here. So I said, done. So I went up there, and they found me a nice studio. We did all my vocals up there, and then I came back here, and I did all the overdubs. Now, back to Strangled by the Hands of Time. I wanted to write a song that sounded like something that I listened to in my car growing up as a young teenager or in my early 20s. Something that just had this sing-songy kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it came out. And the premise is, and I don't want to name names, but it's about a girl that you think you want to be your girlfriend, and then she is your girlfriend, and you're so happy about it, and you realize that you've made a tremendous mistake, and like, how do you get out of it? So, what the thing, and you're thinking she's the best, and she's, laughing at you. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. So, and we might have all been there a little bit. So, that's the purpose.
Jimmy, I've got my wife laughing in my ear going, I can understand what that man's talking about. I'm right there now. She's with you. In the meantime, right here at Galaxy, here's Jimi Fiano, Strangled by the Hands of Time. Oh, dear. Thank you.
That's funny. That was the. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can. Just hold on a sec. How many countries are tuned in?
162.
There's 162 countries tuned in right now around the world.
Oh, this is fantastic.
How many cities?
5893.
Okay, 5,893 cities around the world are clocked in.
That is amazing.
Well, I'll give you a number that I think you'll find rather impressive at the end of this. How many people or devices, because it could be 10 people to one device. We're only getting things clicked in here, so I'll give you that number at the end of this. I think you'll find it amusing. I do. Jimmy, by any chance, are you a vegan?
I'm sorry?
Are you a vegan by any chance?
I'm not, but I could be at any moment.
I love it. Have you ever tried a vegan sausage?
No, I don't think I have. I had a vegan hot dog once, and you know what? If you put the right ingredient, I had a vegan hamburger and I like it a lot.
Okay. I'm trying to come to the bottom of the myth with the vegan sausage, because I keep asking people if they've ever had a vegan sausage. A lot of people say no, but what I'm trying to discover is, are they made of real vegans or not?
Well, I think at our age, vegan might be a good thing. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I know, I'm getting up there in age, and I think the way that I used to like to eat is not the way that I can eat now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. Probably eat hamburgers first thing in the morning and sausage and bacon and all that. It's probably not the healthiest.
Well, my question there is, a coconut. Is it a mammal or is it a fruit? Well,
What do you mean?
a coconut. You know what a coconut is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I use coconuts a lot. I drink coconut water a lot.
Okay, so it gives milk, coconut milk. Coconut water, right, but coconut. But it's hairy as well. It's got hair on it. Is it a mammal? Or is it a fruit? I mean, again, Jimmy, you said you like to think out of the box. Here's one for you. Imagine if your knees bent in the opposite direction as to where they bend at the moment, right? Could you imagine how interesting chairs would be?
You got a good point. This is amazing. I wasn't sure of the reach of your station, and I'm so impressed.
Oh, believe me, I'll talk to you about something after this that I think you'll find not only impressive, to be very honest, it's like a fairy tale. And Barbara and I, we were completely out of our depth. Let's be honest, we were completely out of our depth. But we came back to New Zealand with a smile on our face that you just can't wipe off right now. You really can't. So, Jimmy, believe me, I will tell you about this after we finish this. And I think you'll find it very interesting. I do. That's right, you're right, here at galaxy107 FM, and today I'm talking to Jimi Fiano, coming out of Florida. Which part of Florida are you in, Jimmy?
I'm down in the South Florida. I'm in a place called Fort Lauderdale, which is just north of Miami. Miami is a short drive, maybe a half hour from me. I'm down there in the tip, and I make it down to Key West all the way down there. That's about another 4 hours. So I play down there occasionally. It's very nice here. Everybody's coming here, so it must be great.
Didn't somebody send a whole lot of boat people over to Miami at one stage in history? Pretty sure they did.
Yeah.
From Cuba,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, somebody from Cuba. Sean Simpson is joining us. Nice to have you on board, Sean. It really, really is. Nice to chat too. It's been a while. And Glenn Stillstone is joining us again as well. Nice to have you back, sir. It really is. Now, I want to also give a big shout out to Glenn Baker, because Jimmy was passed on to us by our good friend Glenn Baker, and believe me, I love what Glenn Baker does as a job as well, including, of course, the exoskeleton project. Man is worth his weight in gold with that one. Get behind Glenn Baker. But right now we're talking to Jimi Fiano, and Jimmy, believe me, I have been an engineer now for a good 40-something years, and not only front of house, but also studio engineer. And believe me, it was strange that you were talking about Strangled by the Hands of Time and the music that you like to listen to in your car. Now, I want to run this by you, because this is how we do things here. Paul Barbara gets about 200 submissions of music a day. So, we really have to be, let's put it this way, we've got to be vicious with who we are doing, because we've only got a certain amount of time that we can A, play the music, and B, do the interviews, you know what I mean? So it's got to be that much more exceptional. It really does. And when you've got, about 1,000 plus a week coming in, and you can only choose about 7 or 8, it's got to be good, you know what I mean? Having said that, and we did say that Glenn Baker passed you on, sir, let me tell you, you won this on your own merits, not because of Glenn, okay? But I'm so happy that Glenn was able to kick the ball rolling, let's put it like that. Once Barbara gets her submissions, she cuts through it, and then she makes her decisions, goes to production and Barbara sort of work it down a little bit more, because believe me, there's usually a few that we can't say yes or no to because they're damn good,
Sure.
Then it goes to a board. Now, our board at any given stage could be 8 to 12 people on any given board meeting, and their only concern is our image. I have 2 issues with that. I understand the image thing, but believe me, then they let me on air. I'm not good for an image at all, really. I mean, look at me. Come on. You don't want this as the face of Galaxy, but it is. So, having said that, Barbara then, once all those boxes are ticked, gives me a USB device that I play in my car. I have no information, nothing at all. I don't get an artist name and or title of the track, just the music. Now, I do this for 2 reasons. First reason is, well, frankly, nobody can influence me on whether or not I want to do the interview. It is based on the music I hear, and believe me, I've got a very good stereo in my car. And Jimmy, the other reason is, well, frankly, nobody wants to drive with me. And that is quite true. Barbara's saying, don't tell, but she does have racing influences in her family, all the way down her family, and she's got champions in her family. She won't get in a car with me, really. So, but when I first heard your song, and I've got to be honest with you, Strangled by the Hands of Time was the very first song that I heard of yours. When you said about listening to it in your car and stuff like that, it took me right back to when I very first heard your very first track. And believe me, I was that impressed. I stopped the car, turned back the music, and believe me, I drive sideways from time to time. We're in between 3 major cities here in a little milling village, and I know where they hide the keys for the breaks, if you know what I mean, through the forestry. So I like to take my car and have a little bit of fun with it, as young boys like me do. So, from time to time I go sideways. Now there's a particular spot there that you can look down through this gully. Absolutely picturesque. And that was the first track I heard of yours, was Strangled by the Hands of Time. I had to stop, turn it back, turn it up. Now I don't drink, but I do drink stuff like Coca-Cola, Sprite, stuff like that. So I cracked the cold one and sat back and enjoyed this track. That's the track that got you the interview.
Wow. That's one of the ones that usually I get to later because I you know what I mean? I usually start out with like Talking Blues and then Sweat and Pray and then that. But I personally like it, but I wasn't sure how it sits with everyone. But and I write these tunes straight from my heart. I don't sit there and think, well, gee, what are the people gonna like? I don't really write like that because I want it to be from my feelings. Obviously, Hey Joe is 8.5 minutes, so I wasn't thinking like, oh boy, we better wrap this up so everybody's in this cute little package, So, I write from my heart, so I'm hoping that people are feeling my heart and it's resonating with their heart as well, So.
Well, Jimmy, I got to let you know, and oh, by the way, Glenn Baker is watching too. By the way, nice to have you on board, Glenn. Yeah, give me a call at some stage. Give me some new music as well. And I got to let you know, as an engineer, that was the track that sold me on wanting to know more about you. Okay? Once I started listening to that, I started opening up my mind and wanting to know more about as years go passing by. And, of course, Sweat and Pray. Now, Jimmy, this is your headline. This is the album named track. So I think, we better get down and dirty on this one and let us know what's going on with Sweat and Pray.
Well, Sweat and Pray, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it really is, if you think, and as I said, once I started writing the lyrics, I didn't really think about, this is a this song or a that song, but it really is kind of a blues in the lyric department because what it's about, it's like, as hard as you work, it never seems to be enough, and what happened, the title was actually inspired. I have one son who is 18 years old, and I get him on the weekends. Me and his mom and I are divorced. We still get along and everything. But so he was with me, and I was telling him, about wow, I made it again. All the bills got paid this month, and I'm at zero, which is good. Zero is better than owing. So I was like, I did it again. Everything is paid. And when you're 18, you just go, hey, he was like, can I get another game for my PlayStation? And I was like, didn't you just hear me? I told you, like, I'm at zero. So, and I was washing the dishes, and he walked out of the room, and I just said, God damn it, man. And I was doing this shit, threw him down, and I said, man, all I ever do around here is sweat and pray. Everything's going to happen, right? And I went, oh, sweat and pray. Wait a minute. So I started elaborating on the title, and that's what happened. It's I got enough gas to go to work to a job I can't stand, and when I get there, the boss calls me a jerk. All that kind of stuff. I'm working all day just to go home and lie back down. Just the next day, I'm going to do the same shit. So
Jimmy, let me tell you something. As the CEO of a company that I own, we sound too much alike right now. We really do. I'm not kidding. I get to work about 9:30 at night, and I'm lucky to get out of here by 6 o'clock in the evening. That's a full day. It really is. But if it wasn't for the staff and everybody here, we wouldn't be able to bring you shows like this, including artists like Jimi Fiano with the title track of his new album, Here's Sweat and Pray. Oh, yes. Sorry. How you feeling, Jimmy? You okay?
Very good. You know, it's funny, that song came together in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It was just, I had a riff, and then I sat down, and actually, I went up to Nashville with, I didn't even have all the lyrics ready. I'm one of these guys, when I'm writing songs, I just decided, after like analyzing myself, I don't like to beat things to death. Like, if I have a good song, it's not because I played it 50 million times. It's just a good song. And I like to go in the studio and, like, okay, I'll have a framework of a song. But then I don't like to work out the leads or anything too much. I like to go in and see what hits me that day, right? When I hear the music playing back, how do I want to respond as a lead to this? You know, I'm very into spontaneity. And really, the studio that I did my tracks at is like one of my favorite studios down here. It is my favorite studio down here. It's called Power Station. And it was originally, there's a power station in New York, and it's a version of that brought down here. And it's kind of half managed still. It's under the direction of Tony Bon Jovi, who did everything. You know, I mean, you know, not even to mention that he's, you know, John Bon Jovi's uncle. But I mean, before all that, I mean, he did, you know, all kinds of Motown and some Hendrix and da-da-da-da. But, so, I mean, that room has, I did a bunch of session work in there. And I said, you know what? And the engineer said, Ben, you need to do a record and you need to do it here. And I said, you know what? You're right. And that's exactly what happened. I went in there, and after doing piles of sessions for everybody else, I went in there and did my record in there, and I'm ready. This record, I mean, this is my first only record under the name Jimi Fiano. So this record is putting me on the map, but I've got about 10 tunes ready, very loosely, like I said, but I got about 10 themes ready for another record, a follow-up.
Cool, because one of my questions coming up, my friend, is if you got anything new in the pipe, in the can, will you come back? Will you pass us on new music? Can we promote you some more? And I've got to say hi to John Michaels from Creation 5, tuned in right now. Yes, Barbara, Creation 5, that is right. If Barbara's shaking her head going, no, but I know I'm right. Don't we, John? See? Dear. Do you know John Michaels?
No, he's from Tauranga.
John Michaels?
Yeah, he's from
Oh, John Michael Les, sorry.
Yes.
I thought it was John Michaels from Florida.
No.
Sorry, wrong John Michaels. Of course, in the Black Brothers.
Yeah.
You're right,
Oh,
Barbara. You're right.
I'm always right.
The boss is always right. Me, not so much. We have a few John Michaels on the list, if you know what I mean, and of course this is spelt Michael Ayres. So, Michael glasses working right. We've got Hey Joe coming up next, and we will wrap it up after that, but please don't go anywhere, because we're going to take a few pickies. Barbara will give you a copy of everything we've done today, and including she'll make a movie, okay?
Okay, very good.
I usually tell people, show it to people you don't like. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and of course John Michael, sorry about that, of course coming from Tauranga. Glasses not working right, sorry about that, but I do know one thing, is that right now we're talking to Jimi Fiano, and Jimmy, I've got to be honest with you, when I very first heard this next track, it wasn't the amount of time, 8 minutes, 30 seconds. Believe me, I've had artists in the past say to me, I didn't think you'd play it being that long. Well, we will certainly play it if it's good. You know what I mean? Now, hey Joe. Okay, fair enough. We know it's a cover, but you've made it a little bit of your own, right? So, I think without any further ado, you better let us know how you made Hey Joe your own.
Okay, all right. So I play down here with a pretty well-known band called the Big Rock Band, which is the lead singer's name is Allison Senior, and he's a DJ down here for a radio station called Big 105.9. And we were in rehearsals, going through a bunch of different songs, and somebody suggested that we do Hey Joe, and I said, when we started to do it, I said, listen, man, I'll do Hey Joe, but I'm not going to do Hey Joe just like the way Jimi Hendrix does. It's, it's a great song for Jimi Hendrix, but I don't think, I don't think it works for us. So that's why, I said, let's come in huge. So, that's why I came in with, that's why I come in. I came in with that, and then we brought it way down into, we brought it into that. So, and it's funny because even when I came back and I did the parts, the owner of Power Station Studio came back and he goes, "Oh, when you were in Nashville, you got a pedal steel player?" I said, No, that's all me on guitar. So he was like, wow. So, and then I just decided that it would get humongous. And then we took a vocal break, and like I said, Sean Murphy did all the wonderful oohs on the back of that. And it just came to be. And then I started putting the pieces together and took some of the signature riffs, like I put that in and just started coming up with things to make it my own. But I mean, that I took from there. I try to put it in a context where we're different.
Absolutely love this. And since we've been playing it, believe me, 3,700 plus requests and going through the roof. Wolf Milestone is joining us as well. Nice to have you on board, Wolf. Really is. Tell you what, let's get it underway. 8 minutes, 30 seconds. Here's Hey Joe. Please forgive me.
All right.
Is that the flu? Getting over the flu?
Yeah, I am getting over the flu, unfortunately. I apologise.
I started sleeping with I started sleeping with a humidifier, and that helped a lot. I don't know if that would help you or not.
Can I have that product?
Everyone.
By the way, just in case you were thinking, because I don't drink, that wasn't vodka. It's Codral. Cough mixer, cough medicine.
Oh, wow. Okay. I actually haven't drank in probably 12 years.
No, I don't drink personally, if you know what I mean. But when somebody hands me a shot glass of something clear, somebody's going to say, I thought you didn't drink.
Yeah.
So
Juice.
I just need to clarify that. It was cough medicine.
To each his own anyway,
Oh, I'm still trying. I should have taken another week off, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we are so backlogged with work at the moment, I just don't have the time. I've got to get back. And I do apologise, Jimmy, I really do. But unfortunately, it's better than last week where I had no voice at all.
Yeah, you know what? You got to be careful because if you keep coughing, you'll cough your voice away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've done it where you keep coughing, and then it's even worse. It's like
Believe me, I had laryngitis last week. It just came out as a whisper. I see Francesca's joining us. It's nice to have Francesca on board.
Yeah, all these people up late.
Yeah, absolutely, Francesca. I've got to let you know that William Odell Hughes was watching the last interview we did, believe me, with Laurie LeBlanc, and believe me, good to see William Odell Hughes. Just wondering if there's any new music for him. Nice to have you on board, Francesca, it is. Francesca, let me tell you about Francesca, Jimmy. This is fantastic. Last year we were having a swarm of earthquakes. And I mean, we were having a swarm of them. I think we had about 5,000 or 6,000 in a week.
Good, it was terrible.
You know,
Oh my God.
oh, believe me, we're right in the earthquake zone where we are. And in fact, just about 30, 40 kilometres from here, there's an active volcano.
Yeah.
Okay? That's where we're at. And 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm in production because on skeleton staff. I'm not having my staff working while this is going on. So I had to cut the staff right down to me and 2 others. And I'm on skeleton staff at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the place is just rocking with earthquakes going off like crazy. And I'm not talking light ones, we're talking 5 and 6, almost 7 pointers. These are big earthquakes. And the phone rings. The phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning, and here's this young lady by the name of Francesca. What a welcome voice here on the other end of the phone at a strange time of when the building's rocking. You know, it's like, oh, nice. So that's how I met Francesca, and believe me, it was a fantastic time to be able to, because we've got a mountain out. I can look outside my office window right now and see this mountain. That is, it's a dormant volcano. Okay? Now, while this is going on, there's a big scar down the side of it. And we're looking at it going, holy heck, it's got a crack in it. Okay? Now, being the only radio announcer in town, only radio station in town, I'm the last one out of the town, literally. I turn the lights out because I'm here as a service, because people from out of town want to contact people, can't possibly, you know, get a message through to them, so they contact me, and vice versa. So I'm working as a civil defence community service kind of thing, and I'm looking at the steam coming out of this mountain. Hasn't had steam before. It hasn't, right? We've got all of this going on, all of these earthquakes going on. And I'm thinking, no, I'm getting the staff out of here. They're going with their family, get the hell out, right? Which I did. I told them literally, oh, go on, get going. And I'm sitting here at 2 o'clock in the morning in an empty building, and the phone rings, and it's Francesca. And I'm going, oh God, somebody's still alive out there.
Goodness me.
I think the volcanic version of the Titanic.
Oh. Don't worry, I've lived through worse earthquakes than that. Literally. We had an earthquake called the Anangaua earthquake way back in the late 60s. That's giving my age away a little bit. And that was a national emergency, that one. It really was.
You're
It
too
was a
little.
disaster.
Too little to know it though. Till later on.
I knew all about it. I was in the bloody main street with the old man in the middle of the night when he was going to work. I used to go to work with my father. He was a coal miner, right? And school holidays, he used to take me to work. And we're standing literally on the side of the main road where the workers' bus used to come and pick us up. And the main road looked like that. Literally. It was almost like water. It was so... and all these buildings were falling around all around us. And of course we're talking about lampposts. The old wooden lampposts, not the concrete ones. The old wooden ones falling around. power lines. Oh yeah, I remember very well. I really do. And also the chimney falling through the roof of the house into the lounge. That was interesting times for the old man. Father used to blow stuff up for a living. He was a shop fighter
Wow.
for the coal mines. He used to blow it up.
Well, not if you do it correct.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and today we're talking to Jimi Fiano, coming out of South Florida, and believe me, absolutely elated to be able to talk to Jimi this morning. Now, Jimi, got to ask you, this does bring us to the end of another interview, but do you have anything in the can, and are you looking at releasing anything in the near future?
Yeah, it's not so near, but yeah, probably within 6 months. I'm not done with this record yet. Sweat and Pray, we're still working it. I believe, I don't think we've exhausted this record yet. I think it needs to get out to more people. Also, I have 2 videos accompanying Sweat and Pray. There's a hilarious video to that. And then I also did one to the song on there called Talkin' Blues. So I need to work this record a little further and get it out more. And then I have now I've been bitten by the bug, and I've just got I've got a bunch of songs. That one of it is a real tearjerker that I don't even want to give away the title, but I ran it a little bit by my girlfriend, and she was like, "Wow, this is like pretty crazy." And it's kind of heavy, but I think a lot of people will be able to relate to it. But I'm just going to do, my record is blues based. I want to say blues rock, but it's like you talked about being in a box. It's not inside the box. It's way outside the box, because if I have something that may have, like even Shining by the Hands of Time has a strain of blues running through it, but it's all over the place. You know, some of the stuff is almost on the verge of metal, and other stuff is R&B, and some of it is straight. And this next record has all of that. I've got a couple of acoustic tunes. I even have an instrumental or 2 that I'm going to put on it. And I want to put it as such, it's like, you know how when you had a record back in the days, like say a Beatles record, and all these different kinds of styles were coming, and you felt almost like you knew them because you were there. It's like they were almost there playing for you. It would go from one tune into the next, and my next record is going to be more like that, and I can't wait to dig in. It's going to be more time consuming for sure, but I'm really looking forward to it.
You know, I'm excited because just maybe you'll pass a little bit of that on to us. Come back for another interview. Would you do that?
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Got to say hi to Kerry, and nice to have you on board, Kerry. It's been a while. It really, really has. Love to Donna as well. Now, at the same time, I do got to ask you, my friend, if not only will you come back again, next time you're in a recording studio near a recordable 58, how would you like to do me a couple of voice drops?
Well, I have done you a couple. Barbara has a couple of station IDs.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'll get Barbara to pass those on to me because, believe me, I think we should get those underway. Really, really do. Now, don't go anywhere just yet because we're going to do a few backstage things. Get a little movie going for you. Now, usually I say to people, because if you show it to friends and family, they'll automatically love the movie. They really, really will. I usually say show it to people you don't like. Now, that usually puts a fire under their tuchus, and before you know it, they're getting in touch with us saying, hey, I got a band as well, which means now I've got Barbara working that extra hard. You know what I mean? She pushes me like crazy. It's my only chance that I can get to be able to get other people to go, hey, Barbara, I've been told, get in touch with you. You're the one. So believe me, if you've got a band, get in touch with Barbara. Terry Williams is watching. Nice to have Terry on board. And Stephen John Ireland also watching. Nice to have you on board too, Stephen. In the meantime, this does wrap it up for another day. And don't forget, we will be back again on Thursday with 2 more interviews. And believe me, you're going to love it. You really are. Funky weekend this weekend, literally. We've got Marta Riki. It's a public holiday on Friday, so no music going to be happening there except for everything that you would normally hear. The classic, great music from Galaxy 107. Join us then. If not, join us in the morning, Barbara and I, between 5:30 in the morning and 10 o'clock. We're doing the breakfast show. Why not tune in? And in the meantime, if you don't do that, well, I tell you what, stay safe and have happy radio, everyone.